Hey guys, how you doing? Let's get into some tactics. Trying to see what do I want to do here. So if I play bishop here, queen, king up, and then queen over and mate. So we can't. Let's see, queen check. King comes up, check. So you have a draw. Because now we get to pick up the knight. Let me see here. Let me see. So the rook is under attack. The knight moves. I'm trying to see what is the sitch here. See if I play there, I'll take. So I'm trying to see if I can't get my knight in here. Then I can pick up a rook. Oh, that's right. I missed that. Ugh. Look for the pockets that are left behind. I gotta remember that. Hey. Oh, hi. Hmm. Wow. So in a so you had her play the modern Banco, and she beat Stockfish in a lot of close games. Okay, hold on. I'll like it. How do you like it? How do you how do you like a put thing? Well, I'd love to, but I really can't. I'm right in the middle of class. Um, I'll have to do that a little bit later, and I'll have to figure out. I appreciate the offer, though. So, okay, it's got to do the turn the board around. Sometimes you have to, and I'm learning that recently. You have to make choices, and choices are important. You can only use the second one time. What are you going to use it for? Self or the Lord? And that's one thing I'm learning. Okay, let's see. So C4, E5. So this is more of a closed position. That A. Okay, gotcha. So E4 to lock down the position. I was just taking a look at this because it's pretty interesting. This move plans for B. Okay. This now is an interesting move because if he plays knight to G5, you have bishop castles G7, bishop E3, queen E7. Hmm. has the use of preparing f5. So this seems to like g6 and the type of closed positions. Bishop of g6 rather than bishop. I think it's because g6 also has the use of preparing f5. Yeah. Well, I think if he plays there and he takes... Huh. What? Well, at this point, what I was talking about is if he played back here. This, I think, still... That's kind of what I was talking about. No, this wasn't the spot. Well, queenside, if you think about it, is much more safe because there's really no points of entry, and if the knight tried to enter here, yeah. Oh, I gotcha. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My bad. My bad, yeah. Yeah, I'd rather take the queen. That does undermine the structure, so I gotta be on the lookout for that. So castles, that's right. You know, you gotta always be on guard for not making blunders. Yeah, this is this is a bad move. You don't want to do that because that loses a pawn. So just don't. Trading's not a very good idea. There's no reason at this moment to trade. You can always play knight c7, knight takes c7, king takes, and then g6, and you're fine to go. It was a gambit. They gambited the pawn for a reason. And pawn takes here is not the best move. Even if he plays there. You have knight here, and potentially you can even play rook. And he's getting into a quite a quagmire of a problem there. Doubling up, yeah. Now he's putting on the steam. Wow, that's actually a really good move. Surprisingly, that's a really good move. Because if he moves here, so the only move he could do is that. And does white have enough pieces? I don't know if he's got enough active pieces. That's just my opinion. If you're wondering why the computer took there, I'd rather not here, because if you take here, he's got this idea. And if he moves there, and I think it's still losing, but this just covers every point of entry. There is no way of getting out of this here. If you just wanted to be ruthless, you can take there, then take here, and look how many pawns you got. You think you're going to win? Oh, this is Stockfish 7. Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask, how did Leela do in the computer tournament? I didn't get to watch that. So I was wondering how the engine did. Did you watch the engine tournament? Let's see. Same setup, except the bishop line's a little different. See, move 5. Yeah, they castled. I just want to check. So far, so good. Oh, it's knight. Okay. It was knight e3 on this one, and knight g5. I knew there was different. Yeah, I gotta say, she knows how to. The computer knows that engine. Leela knows how to really sock it to Stockfish. So you know what? Hopefully, the engine will get better and better, and it'll someday be able to take on Alpha Zero. This line here, if I could say what the drawback to this move right here was a waste of a tempo, because right here this allowed this wasn't a waste of a tempo, this was, and now the engine got the tempo, queen developed, and now potentially g5 is possible. And so this is kind of a lot different, but it does deprive black of this pawn, I mean this bishop spot, but we weren't going to use it anyways. Yeah, and same kind of setup. This time, let me see, I don't know. I don't remember Leela playing b6 last time. I think Leela had to play b6 because of the queen here. It was kind of a forced move. Well, in theory, castling short would be safer, but if you think about this, is there really any weaknesses that Leela has? Not really. You'd want to take that way. Well, you can't take that way. You'd want to take, sorry, get rid of that takes. You just take with the knight. So even if this was played here, you can just drop a knight in and you're okay to go. Or potentially you have this here, if knight checks, and you pick a pawn up. So there's really no weaknesses to castling queenside, and white's pretty much, even though they have a lot of space in the center, what can they really do? There's really nothing that the engine could do. So g5, queen c3, knight h5, bishop d2, queen h4. Now this is a power move, because if the stockfish plays there, now you're talking about some pretty good damage with f5 coming. Potentially you get your rooks involved, f5. Now the knight has to get wedged in there. It'd be tempting to play this, but the only problem is I think the bishop at this point would retreat out. And so you'd kind of be in a problem there. You'd want to take. And then if you did there, you take there. And now you control the open file. I don't know, that is kind of a little. I believe that this might actually be losing here. I'm trying to figure out how could it be losing, but I think it has something to do with their. You can't. They'd have to retreat back here, and I believe bishop takes, and that'd be mate. Yeah. So we're up a whole piece now. Now the computer's starting to solidify its position. This cuts out, if you're wondering why the bishop played here, this cuts out the king coming here. So the king has to go. Now the king can actually enter in. And we don't want to trade and let the king in. So if the pawn took, we could actually potentially take here. And then if he tried to hold, we just come up and there's really no way to hold. We just grab the pawn, and basically we're going to start pushing the king further and further back. Like he'll come up, we'll come here, he'll come over. We can even come up here, and if he comes here, we come. You bring there. You come up and see how you're slowly maneuvering the king back. So potentially, probably, now that I think about it, why did I move my bishop? There's no point to that. Well, I guess there was a point. Gotta be careful here. Probably that has to be played. Now you just move your bishop out. It's gonna have to come here. And you just have to be careful that you don't have a problem. So, and the engine resigned. You're just gonna have to slowly outmaneuver the king, and eventually a bishop and king should be able to do that. And it goes down to your endgame studies, or it comes down to your endgame studies. Do you have any more games that you'd like to go over? Oh, what about C? Where did I miss C takes B? I didn't see that. You're oh, thank you. Well, if you don't have to if you don't have any, because I don't want to pressure you on it. We'll just do it. We'll look at a tactic while we're. If you want to bring one up, I'll be more than happy to go over it. We'll just go over a tactic here real quick while you're looking. You gotta keep your mind sharp. Right. I was hoping the bishop would stay there and then I could go over here and mate. Did not work out the way I thought it would, but hey. Rook here, and then there should be mate. This should be an unstoppable mate here. Okay. We'll finish this one up, then we'll go into that. Let's see here. Can't leave a tactic undone. Let's see. Thinking of Queen H. I gotta say though, I can't take credit for all the analysis because it's a gift the Lord's given me. It is tasty, and so that's the one thing. Because I remember what it says: pride goeth before a fall, and we don't want pride. Oh boy. I'm wondering if we just take the pawn. Let me see. How many pawns would we be up if we just took the pawn in that line? Oh. Why didn't I see that? You're right. Good find there. Great work. Great job. I have to be look out for more of those pins. Yeah, that's what I didn't think about that. Yeah. So for me, this idea was instructed because Layla. Yeah, that's the whole idea. I missed the pin, so that was great. For me, this idea was instructed because Layla right away tried to trade one piece because she had less space. That's a chess principle. Okay. Oops. Yeah, I gotta turn the board. So this all comes down to principles, guys. So knight takes. It's almost close to a French, but it's not. Yeah, we want to be able to, we don't want the queen to come over and then potentially a trade-off. So we want to keep our pieces active. This stops bishop coming in. Rook a8, queen c1, and king h7. This solidifies all of black's position right here. Bishop a4, f5, c2, f4. Now black is safe. There's no way that this is a bad bishop. This bishop is horrible. So the engine Leela allowed in one move shut down two pieces. Really good move there. h5. And this allows for bishop, because what we want to do is get our pieces ready for a breakup. We don't want to do it right now. We gotta wait. And this is a weak spot when the rook moved. When this rook moved, the engine saw that that's a potential idea. So f6. Queen now has to guard. So the queen's on guard duty. The bishop has nowhere to go. And if it ever thinks about, let's say G, if it ever thinks about going here, potentially we have bishop there, bishop here. So we got to be careful. I was trying to find a way if we could trap this, but I don't think there is at this present moment. King G, rook e1. Now this is under fire. So if this happens, we have that. And then we have G3 coming next. Well, everything's setting up for the fireworks to start happening. Oh, there we go. There's the kabooms. Oh, what am I talking about? That's a horrible move. Kaboom. Yeah, don't even think about that. That's a bad move. Don't want that. We gotta. There we go. And we're up a whole rook. Oh, nice pawn. This is just devastating. This stops here. And prepares a mate threat. So it forces the exchange. We don't even much care because we have so many pawns coming up the board. Remember, it's about positional win. There's no way to win this. All the bishop has to do is set up here. And if you tried something like this, you just get your king involved if you try that. Just get your king involved. If he tries this. And this pawn move is to prevent the king from coming here. So if we played here, so we'd probably have to come back. See you later, rook. Just one move that they needed. Alright. We'll try a game. Oh, it is. It can be as strong as 2 rooks. Yeah. Let's see here. That was a blunder. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, let's go back over that. Yeah, he was actually in Zugzwang all the way back here. I believe you're right. If we take here, if he takes here, b5, h6, and then bishop a1. Yep. And the king d2. And there's no way really to save this because he's going to have to go king e3, and then what you do is you take the pawn at that point, and you're winning. This was the losing move here. I think they're saying he could have still held on right here. King c2, king f8, a5, king e7, f4, king d7, king f2, and rook a5. And that's going to be that. We're going to win a pawn back. So b4, rook takes, bishop d2 to hold this, and rook d5. So k3, h5, h4, b5, f here, f5, pawn takes, g takes, f takes, then e takes, and it's a draw at this point. And if here, bishop g3. At this point, if here, oops, that's a mistake, sorry. Bishop back, bishop takes, so bishop g5, and you just have to basically keep this is guarded. You have to be careful of these points. There is no really entry point. So if you play there, king d6, and you just go back, forth, oh sorry, back, forth, and then back and forth. And you should, or you could come here and come back and triangulate if you wanted to. It's still a draw. Okay, dokie. We'll work on some more puzzles. We somehow have to win the rook. I'm looking at check on a7. Queen checks a7. And if he moves, a7 check. can either do one or two things: win the rook or win the bishop. So we have to decide which one do we want to win. I think the only move that we could do that has a check is that. This is covered right there. If we go here, the knight covers that, and there's no more checks. And then he'll pick that up. So there's really only one check that could be played, and it's right here. Now we have a check here, and if he comes back, we can actually check up there and pick up the bishop. Oh, I was wrong there. Oh, perpetual. It's a perpet. Oh. Rook takes knight, and I believe we pick up a... Yep, nice job. See, if we check, he'll come up. Then we play bishop check, he'll come down. We play bishop here. If he comes up, we play bishop takes, and it's mate. thinking about playing what do you think? What do you think, Fox? Queen c5? Because the whole idea is if queen c5, bishop takes c5, e1 equals queen. I believe that would be trying to see if there's any way we could take this here, stop this, because if we can ever play knight f5, we can back rank mate. Is it king g5? What do you think, Fox? Or it could just be, it could be this. Rook f8, check, king, king g7, knight, f, f5, check, knight takes f5, r, rook, d, oh, can't do that, because then that'd be a fork and we'd lose. I'm thinking g5, what do you think? My idea is actually to go to h. My idea is king h6, rook e6, check, and then knight g6. H takes g6, and then rook f8. Oh, I was right. Ah, drat. Should have went with my gut on that one. Ah. See, in Jeremy Silman, what you have to do if you want to see who passes the opposition, do you see these squares here? The color that the king's on, if the king is on this square here, this means that you have the opposition. You pass the opposition. And then you can actually play f. And then you come in g5, there, takes, there, up, or over, takes, 1, back, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, too late. And I wanted to show you what would happen in this endgame. I remember from Jeremy Silman's endgame book. I have to go over that again. It's such a wonderful read of a book. If I went here, and then he went here, I know you guys are thinking, what do you do? King e5. Then if he comes there, you can come f. King here. What you do? You come there. And then if you come here, you can just take that. G7, G5, and then this is going to be a decoy here, and you come over, grab this pawn, and then queen this one. Gotta check to see how we're doing on time. Perfect. We'll do a couple more puzzles, and if you have any questions on any of the games that you sent, write them in, and then after this puzzle, we'll go over it. See, the move is actually bishop e2, because if the knight ever goes, if the king ever see bishop e2, if king g4, knight e3, check, fork. What do you think? What do you think, Fox? So, would you do it? Is bishop e2 good? Let's... Okay. Okay. See, we did great, didn't we? This is what we were talking about, me and Fox, on as if here rook takes, king takes, and there's really no way to stop. It's all over at this point. And black resigned because there's really no way. I mean, white resigned. There's no way to stop mate. Do you have any questions on your games? Any of the Leela games that you wanted to go over? Oh yeah, I wanted to go over. That's right. I wanted to go over this game here. That's right. I had a game I wanted to go over. Come on, work with me now. We'll go over this game, and then I have to log off. Come on, there we go. Gotta make sure that, come on, work with me, work with me. Is this the one, the black one? Yep. So we're going to turn the board. This is actually the English opening, the hedgehog defense. We've been going over that if you wanted to look at some of the like opening lines. This is actually from Nick Defer. It's Nick Defer's opening book on his modern, his modern. So King H3, Rook A. We're just gonna go through it really efficiently, and we're just gonna show you guys how. Found this game really interesting. Black won because Black did not weaken his structure. So what that's telling you is, if you get in a position like, oh, you go, oh, pickles, rats. What do I do here? Just don't weaken your position. Just don't play bad. That's what my teacher taught me. And you see how they're getting their pieces all prepared for an attack. And Bishop A6. Do you see how everything's all there? Snipers are getting set up. And we don't want to trade queens off. That we'd lose our advantage. Now we're attacking a pawn 3 times, defended twice. So queen has to defend. Now we're going after a pawn there. And he's just looking for weaknesses. Now the queen entered. This was the critical point right here. This was the point that actually won the game, in my opinion. If pawn takes, oops, not that. I don't know what I was thinking there. That's not the best move. I'm thinking this is the idea that I was. Is this right? Trying to see what would be played here, because I remember a line that you would be able to go over as, oh, okay, so that is correct. If he comes here, okay, so this is the line that I was thinking. He has to guard this. And then check. That'd be mate. So that's now you get to see why this now you see why Black resigned. I want to see the end, because I was curious about this. He has to take. Kaboom. Okay. Perfect. Well, guys, I wanted to thank y'all for logging on. Do you know, when you make mistakes, you have to learn from them. And remember, you can only spend a second once. So where are you going to spend it? That's the whole thing. And I have to remember that you have to prioritize what you're going to do. And then you know what? It helps when you think, do I do this or this? Do I do this or this? Which one's going to glorify the Lord? And you have to always remember that. Sometimes the things that we think are the most important and that are what we're supposed to be doing aren't. So just keep that in mind when you get distracted by something and you should be studying, but you're like, I want to do this over here. Don't just stay focused. Remember, you hang up your coat, hang up your hat. You study no matter what. You don't let stuff get you off track. You put the visors on like the horses do that are pulling the carts, so that your focus is here. You don't focus over here, over here, or over here. You're focused. And sometimes to learn that, sometimes you're blessed that you learn at a small cost, but sometimes it's sad to say if you don't learn at a small cost, you can learn at a big cost, and it can really be important. So just keep that in mind. Like if you have like a studies you have to do for your school, and you want to do this over here, remember, get your school work done first. And also chess will help you with your grades too. So of course you guys know the studies about that. But we have to remember that you have to know what you want to do and then apply it. And that goes for everything that you do, your time, your all that. And you got to be willing to basically change to promote a field that you really want to go down. And you have to, and then actually do it. It's also said that a double-minded man is unstable, or a double-minded person. I'll just say person is unstable in all their ways. So you can't serve two masters. What that means is you can't do two things at one time. And I take that to heart. So you guys should too. You can't do two things, and if you're supposed to be doing this thing over here and you're doing this thing, trust me, you cannot focus on the thing at hand unless you handle the problem at hand. Just keep that in mind. I wanted to share a little bit of, I guess, chess cruncher wisdom with you guys. Okay, remember what we do, guys? We hang up our coat, we hang up our hat, and we sit down and study. When most won't, we do. And we have to remember as well. I know I say remember a lot, but it's important because you have to remember, coal under pressure becomes a diamond. A dull sword sharpened will save a life or hurt a life in the medieval times, guys. So keep that in mind. We have to sharpen our tactics and keep our eyes on the prize. And so guys, I will leave you with that thought. And as Wesley so says, for the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless. And I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening. And Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And we'll keep learning, keep hanging up our coat, hanging up our hat, and studying. And making the right decisions on what you want to do for your life. That's for sure. So guys, you remember, keep up the good work. Go Team Chess Cruncher. We're 2,100 now, and chess.com. Congrats, you guys are helping me. We're doing it. So always feel comfortable to put in if you have an idea on a move. I'm more than willing to handle it and talk over it with you. Okay, be blessed, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Great job. Bye-bye.